So my name is Noelia. I'm a PhD in cell biology, and one of my daughters, a 6-year-old now, was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis 2 years ago. She started with a bleeding episode, diarrhea that wouldn't go away. She went through a number of rounds of antibiotics and different medications, and she was in a flare-up that we could not manage. And things were going downhill. She was anemic. She was having diarrhea 6, 7, 10 times a day with a lot of blood. So it was time to do something, and when traditional medicine wasn't working. So the next step for traditional medicine would have been an immunosuppressant. And at that age, she was 4 years old, we decided we wanted to explore alternatives before messing up with her immune system. Because the reality is we didn't know which effect it was going to have on her health overall. We thought it was a short-term solution, but we were very afraid of the long-term effects of that. And the doctor at the time, the pediatric gastroenterologist, contacted me and said, you know, you haven't heard this from me, but I have a younger patient. He's a little older than Mika. He has Crohn's disease, and he has been seeing this group in Miami. I think you should contact them, maybe to have a second opinion. And I think they may lead you in the direction that you want to go. And I'm okay with that as long as you don't stop all the medicines. As long as you do what I say, I don't mind you doing something else in addition to the regular treatment. So we came to Shanti and Diego. I remember that day very well. I grabbed the phone and I called them. We had a very long discussion over the phone before them even seeing my daughter. They asked for a very long list of blood tests and a very long questionnaire regarding her environmental conditions, her health status, even her birth story. So we visited Shanti and Diego, and it was a great experience overall, because the first thing they said is you can heal somebody with food. And coming from a traditional education, I was like, really? Food? But food is making her sick. How can food heal somebody? And I was giving her everything organic. She was breastfed. She wasn't eating junk food at all. So it was a little mind-blowing in the beginning. But with Shanti's help and Diego's follow-up as well, we were able to start Mika in a diet that mostly consisted of food, of real food. And we used a few supplements in the beginning as well. And, you know, it took a couple months, but she was finally off that flare up, and it went uphill from then on. So I want to say it was a group effort. It was a team effort, because we were constantly talking back and forth with the doctor, with Shanti, with Diego, with Dad. It was very, very hard in the beginning to get all the ducks in a row. But after a couple of months, everything went a lot easier. And I'm so thankful that we went on this diet and we did this change. So it's been 20 months now. And yeah, it's been 20 months. And Mika has been doing fantastic on this diet. She hasn't had any flare-ups. She hasn't, her energy levels are up the roof. She actually is able to exercise now, to run in the park for 2 hours every day. She's a happy child. She doesn't have any pain. She doesn't have any blood. She doesn't have any belly aches. She's great. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. We were used to buying good food from the supermarket. And even though we did a lot of home cooking, it really took us to the next level. But for instance, Jeff, her dad, became her personal chef. And we started trying to, so we had two challenges. First is, where do I find food in Miami at the time so that there are no preservatives, so that everything is organic, everything is super fresh. And then the second challenge was, at the time she was 4 years old and she wanted to eat everything like a 4-year-old would eat. So it was a combination of two difficult things that we needed to put together and keep going. So the first issue was food sourcing. And Shanti said, well, go to this website. I think anything in here is safe for her. So we started shipping the proteins twice a month to Miami. So it took a little bit of logistics and organization and an extra freezer. But we were good. And we were able to jump in right away from the beginning into making new recipes for her. And I became very, very active also in trying to find recipes for children and try to understand more of what she could eat and when she could eat it. So again, it took a little bit of organization, but once we overcame the initial fear of, oh my God, there's nothing she can eat, we realized that there was actually a lot she could eat. We just needed to adjust our daily routines, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And now it's easy. Where even she's used to not having certain foods from the supermarket. It doesn't bother her. She has her special treats. We make muffins when there's a school function. Mm-hmm. We make her desserts, we make her food, we make her soup, we make absolutely everything. And everyone knows that Mika has her special food and she's not allowed to eat anything else, and totally fine.
Right. Now,
so you have to think of chronic diseases as a long-term problem. There's no one-day solution. There's no short solution to this. It's not like you're going to go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy, go take something off the shelf and solve it in a matter of 2 weeks. This is a very long-time commitment. But it's overall, you have to think in the big picture. And you need somebody that is knowledgeable to hold your hand when you need them to. You also need to stay on top of the research. You need to stay open-minded, very open-minded, because what happens is most of the literature is not up to date. There's no big pharma funding any of these studies, and the conditions of the patients are very diverse. So you need to be open-minded. You need to find somebody that can speak in your same language, and you need to work with doctors that can also understand alternative approaches and work with you on those.